Hello lovely people, thank you so much for looking into Merlin's Mountain today. I am Andy and I hope the magic rubs off on you as much as it's been rubbing off on me as long as I've been here, which is a long time. Okay, so in this video we're going to use the Halloween Tarot. Where's the box? It looks better than the back of the cards. There's the box. Look, the Halloween Tarot, because we are in Halloween month. And this is something of a Freaky Friday read. I just hope it doesn't freak you out. It's a pick a card, so right, let's turn over the top 5 cards. I'm not going to turn them over yet because that would be kind of not really going in the right direction, but here are 5 cards for this very reading. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. Which one of those do you fancy? And while you're making your mind up and letting your inner psychic do the work to pick a card for you for today and for the time ahead, let me just say, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, readings available at 35and83@gmail.com. That is my email address to get hold of me for a reading. 35and83@gmail.com. I'll be damn glad to hear from you. Not just psychic readings, not just cards, not just mediumship, any of those. But also, if you would like an astrological birth chart, they are really kind of selling like hotcakes at the moment, because as we come up to the festive season, if we make it there, and I think we will make it there, as we come up to the festive season, it makes a very interesting and unusual and very informative, actually, Christmas gift for someone you know who may or may not be into astrology. People always find them rather amazing. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one of those? Well, now is the time to turn over card number 1 and make a start. Did you pick card number 1, friends? Do let me know which card you picked. Here we have the 6 of Ghosts, and they are standing around outside this sort of rather nice, it could be a church building, couldn't it? It looks like a church building, and they are standing around out there, and you know, the Halloween deck, it does represent the normal suits in tarot, it really does. But I think there's a particularly good reason why someone out there in the spirit world, in the universe, in the realm of angels, if you will, actually wanted this deck to be the way it is. So we're going to read this as the 6 of Ghosts. Many stars in the sky, Grandmother Moon looking rather, there's the camera, looking rather sort of stern and strict there. But the ghosts are having fun anyway. And it's a number 6. It's a very magical kind of a number. It's also a very balanced kind of magical number. So we are looking at the journey towards balance here. And in these strange times, friends, that really is all we need. 6, 7, 8, 9 stars showing in the sky. So this thing really can multiply, whatever situation this relates to, which is going to be a little bit different for absolutely everybody, is actually going to develop. The important thing to do, friends, is make sure it develops in the right way, in a way which looks likely to bring you towards greater success, because that's what we're all looking for, isn't it? And really important not to give up on the idea of success at the moment. And guys, I'm a Brit, I'm in Britain. You've probably, well, I'm sure actually you'll have seen in your news, wherever you are in the world, what the hell is going on in Britain. Nobody really knows at the moment. One of my videos recently, I was talking about aliens taking over, and it really is like that. It really is. I've seen people of all different political persuasions going absolutely crazy at the moment. Meanwhile, there is a genuine threat of nuclear war, and we are just messing about. That's all we're doing, really, is messing about, honestly. Anyway, the 6 of Ghosts. What was the 6 of Ghosts all about? Yeah, the situation is most certainly going to develop. The moon, representing that sort of spiritual cosmic light, is not looking happy, but the ghosts are. Okay, so everyone you know and love who's passed over into the spirit world and is looking down on you and kind of sending love to you, which is what they do, is actually looking at a positive future. All right, there is going to be a positive future, I feel sure of it. No politician seems to want that at the moment, but we are headed most definitely and most squarely for a positive future. 5 of Pumpkins is card number 2, and you could view this as a 5-card horseshoe. That's the way I do these, really. So this, if you picked all 5 cards, this is where it's going next. If you picked card number 2, this is for you, and it's that very familiar 5 of Pentacles card that we've really got going on here, because the pumpkins represent the pentacles, and we've got these 2 characters outside. Looks like they're trick-or-treating, and someone's brought the cat with them. There's a black cat in every card in this deck, actually, which is no bad thing. Black cats are wonderful creatures. Apparently they're not very popular because they're black, but I just love them. I've had several black cats. I've got an almost black cat now. She's actually a tuxedo cat. She's got a bit of white here and a bit of white in her face, but generally speaking, she is a black cat. So very lucky image here, even though it's the 5 of Pentacles, and it almost looks like destitution, doesn't it? These kids have gone out trick-or-treating in their best outfit, and they are not getting in. They are shut on the outside of this warm kind of scene that's going on here. But the story of this card is they will get in the end. You can ask for something, you can get a yes, you can get a no, or you can get a not yet. And the 5 of Pentacles is just really saying not yet. That really is what that one's about. Okay, card number 3, if you picked all 5, this is the central card of the reading. Okay, and again, if you just pick this one, here it is. It is the Queen of Imps. In other words, the Queen of Wands. You can see that very clearly there. And the black cat is sitting at her feet. This lady is, you know, she's on top of things, really. I'd like to say she's on top of the world. And I don't mean that in terms of like the Carpenter's song, looking down on creation and blah, blah, blah. But the explanation I can find for this one is this is just telling you, you know, you're not in too much of a bad place. The world around you might be going crazy, but you have got the resources, and basically you have got the wisdom to deal with that, with everything that's going on. That is really what this card is all about. She's kind of secure on her hearth. I would say this is hearth and home that's represented here as much as everything. So that's the thing to be looking at the moment. We've also got an imp bringing her what looks to me like a sunflower, but then looks slightly different from a sunflower, if you can see that. But, you know, maybe everything isn't perfect in the garden, but the Queen of Imps is on top of the situation. That's the bottom line, you know. So if you pick that card, things are more stable, more steady in your life than you might think, friends. Here we have the King of Bats, the King of Swords for card number 4. And there he is, much more resourceful in lots of ways. And, of course, a masculine energy, which is... These are interesting times, aren't they, friends? You know, at one time, really, you know, certainly back in medieval times when the tarot was conceived and tarot cards began to be made, and they were hand-painted for very rich people to begin with. Back in those days, the male energy was always kind of the winning energy. The man was always the boss of the household. That has changed so much. But I dare say the cosmic influences that brought about the tarot actually knew that this was going to happen sometime. And here we are in the century where it's very much happening at the moment. You don't have to be a man to be the boss anymore. Very, very far from it. It's really going the other way. But here is the King of Bats, surrounded by bats. And there's a lot of thinking going on with this card. There always is with the bats. There always is with the swords. But basically, the king is on top of it. Okay, he might not feel like he's on top of it, and he may need some advice from the divine feminine. In fact, I think that would really help to balance his situation. So think about the goddess. If you drew this card, you need to draw her in. Up above his head, we've got this moth, which if I bring it up close, has a kind of skeleton thing going on in it as well. Now, if you've ever read Carlos Castaneda, you'll know that theory about the dust on the wings of moths carries the souls of our ancestors. So there's some ancestral energy looking down on you here, but it's still all about stars. It's still all about light, actually. Very cloudy here. All those, you know, yellow, greeny streaks in this card are actually representations of clouds, and they're slanted, so everything is not what it seems. But when you just glance at the card, it looks like light, okay? So make sure really, I know it's not the moon card, but I'm going to say for this card in this reading on this day, do make sure you're not being drawn by a false light. And that false light can be your mind talking rampantly to itself. Try and meditate, friends. Try and shut off that internal dialogue. That's the thing to do, really. And just listen to the universe. Listen to the voice of the wind. Listen to the bats, which are flittering about, trying to make things happen. Okay, that is the answer to all the crazy thinking. And instead of that sword being, crazy thoughts that are driving you mad, use that sword to cut through the opposition, to cut through all the craziness going on in your mind. And I'm not saying anyone's insane or anything, but we do get this craziness going on in our minds, trying to take over. Do not let it, friends. Be the king of bats, be the king of swords, and just brush it all away. Okay, this brings us to the final card in today's reading, and it is number 19 from the Major Arcana, needing no introduction from me. It is the Sun card. Now, this is a fantastic card to get at the end of a reading. It really is a great, great outcome card. And even if you just chose this one, it's a great card for you. Basically, it means things are ready to happen. Sunflowers are here. They're coming out, they're growing. We've got these potato things hanging down from the sky, and lots and lots of skulls. And the cat looks as if it's going to kind of challenge the skulls to a duel or something. But the black cat is there, the magic is there. And sunflowers, very, very interesting thing has happened to me this year. I grew loads and loads of sunflowers because I wanted the sunflower seeds. We had a crazy hot summer, and frankly, most of them didn't make it. But I was out there just this morning feeding the chickens, and I noticed there's storms blowing. I don't know if you can hear the storms outside. Probably not, but I can hear them. And I can see the trees like bending in the wind through the window. And I looked at the sunflowers, and they've gone yellow. They've got nice petals on them, and I think they might even produce seeds if it's not too late in the year. So you never know. This that is telling me that this scenario in this card can happen any time. It doesn't have to be summer for the sunflowers to come out, and it doesn't have to seem like the best time in the world for any of us to actually find our hopes, the flower of hope, actually coming out and being hopeful and giving us hope. And I hope this card has given you some hope, friends. We've got these two sleeping, God, I'm not sure what they are actually. They look a bit scary, two kind of sleepy monsters. Or maybe it's one monster with two heads. I think that's what it is. You just never know what's going on with the Halloween tarot. It's freaky. That's what it's all about. But it's time for this creature or creatures to wake up and start living life to its full in all its glory, because who knows why? It's just the time. That's what the card says. And that is the message, friends, of card number 5. So with that, we will bring this one to a close. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'll say it again. If you'd like a private reading, we can meet up on Zoom. We can meet up on Facebook or Instagram Messenger. Both of those work a treat. I can do you an email reading if you like, and of course the astrological birth charts always come in the form of an email, and if you would like one of those, do give me a shout. 35and83@gmail.com. That is 35and83@gmail.com. So have a fantastic time ahead, friends. I will be back again very soon with another reading, so do hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Big thumbs up from me, and love and light to you, friends. Blessings and peace.